Let's talk 6.5 PRC. Well, this will be the second video that I've done on a Let's Talk 6.5 PRC. The first one didn't go over too well. I had a lot of hateful comments on that one. I don't know why a certain individual decided to, say the things he did in the comments. Didn't watch the videos of, didn't watch the videos of us shooting the guns and testing them and stuff like that. He just came in there and said what he said. But let's check to make sure these things are clear here. I know they are, but so let's talk 6.5 PRC. Got a bunch of ammo here to go over. Got these two rifles. I'm gonna go over these rifles. And I just thought, been kind of silent for a little bit, and I'm not going to let a certain somebody stop me. I'm not going to let him dictate. So I'm going to talk in my videos as much as I want to, and I'm going to show off what I got. And if he doesn't like it, well, then that's just too bad. So, actually, let's move this around here. Let's take this Bergara. So, I bought this Bergara a couple years ago. I was wanting to replace. I've been hunting with 6.5x55 for many years, like 20 years, hand loading for it, hunting with it, and everything. And I was wanting to. For some reason, I just couldn't get in a 6.5 Creedmoor craze. I just couldn't do it. And a couple years ago, I hadn't even heard about 6.5 PRC. I was just looking around online. I was at work. I'm just looking around online and kind of looking, and stumbled across 6.5 PRC. Did a little research on it. Saw there was a good amount of ammunition, available. And when I figured, after researching it, that was going to be the gun that I was going to get, I went ahead and started purchasing ammunition. First ammunition I bought was this Hornady. I bought I think 100 rounds. I bought 100 rounds of that Hornady ELDX, and this is the last little bit of Hornady ELDX I got here. I fired some of that box. So I fired, probably about 90 rounds of it, or whatever, 90 rounds of that ELDX. So I bought that. I bought the terminal ascent here. I bought this 130 grain terminal ascent, and I've got one round of factory Nosler 142 Accubon left in there. But yeah, I bought this terminal ascent. I bought, I believe, 100 rounds of that, and so I had ammunition. I bought this rifle, started testing it, and the first speed I got on this out of the chronograph, which I had never even had a chronograph. I bought a shoot through chronograph. First speed I got on it with the terminal ascent, this 130 grain terminal ascent. First speed I got on it was 3060. I'll never forget that. 3060 with the 130 grain terminal ascent. And the box velocity on this thing, the box is supposed to be at 3000. And it was 3060. And then the next speed on it was in the 31, like low 31s. I think it was 3114. And then the next round was like 3120s or something like that. Out of that. And as this Bergara got broke in, it continued to shoot faster. Let me go over the scope on it. It's got a Swarovski Z3 3x10 on it, and tally mounts. I didn't cover that last video. Those are tally mounts. I like those mounts. They're close to where I live at. They're from South Carolina. I really like those tally mounts, and I've got them on pretty much almost all of my stuff. Got them on this Browning too. So I'm just testing this Bergara out a couple years ago. I'm shooting it. I'm shooting the terminal ascent, shooting the Hornady 143s. They were very consistent. They were mid 29s, and they just stayed within I don't know 10 20 feet, 10 to 20 feet per second of each other usually with the groups, and very consistent. And then I started buying more ammunition. I bought 60, I believe it was 60 rounds of this Barnes. About 60 rounds of this Barnes. And I had never shot any Barnes. Let's look at the back of this thing here. It's this 127. So we'll be doing 30-10. And so I shot it. Let me back up for just a second. So I bought this Browning a couple years ago during the summer. So I had already had this Bergara. I was testing it. I bought the Browning. Another Swarovski. Put another Swarovski Z3 on it. Tally mounts. Started testing it. By then I had this Barnes, and I had the Choice 120 grain. Choice 120 grain here. This is another Barnes bullet. So I had 40 rounds of the Choice. I had the Barnes, and then I also bought 100 rounds of this. This Golden Target Norma. So now I had a good amount of stuff to try out, and so the Barnes, I shot it out. I had high hopes for it. Cat's over here messing around on the. So I had high hopes for the Barnes. It shot okay as far as groups. The problem with the Barnes was out of both rifles. Now I had more rounds out of this Bergara, and I'll tell you the texture, and I love the texture on this Bergara. It's really it on this particular stock. I really like it. But so I'm shooting this Barnes out of both rifles, and of course this one's got more rounds out of it, and it's shot in the 2800s. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of strange. So I shoot the same, these 127 Barnes out of this Browning, and it's also in the 2800s. So I resold the rest of this. I've just got this little bit left here. I resold the rest of it that I didn't even open those other boxes. I resold it to somebody on Gunbroker, and so this Golden Target, I started shooting it. This is probably the most accurate. This stuff right here is probably the most accurate box stuff I've fired. It's supposed to be, I believe it's 29. Let's see, 29 something on that. But this stuff is also it's very, very accurate, but it's in the 28s too. And it's target ammunition, but it's also in the 28s. It's not 29, whatever it's supposed to be. So yeah, so this stuff, I resold that. I got rid of most of that. I had this Choice, fired, I don't know, I think 3 rounds out of both rifles. That one time I tested the Choice, and it was in the mid 3200s on the Bergara. I think what's it supposed to be? Let's see here. 3185 with 120 grain. Yeah, so the Bergara is always shot faster than my Browning. I don't know. I know there's theories on the barrels and all that kind of stuff, but all I know is the Bergara is usually shot faster. It's a 24, and the Browning is a 26, and the Bergara just shoots a little bit faster. But usually shoots this choice. First time I tested it, shot 3-round string. It was all in 32s. Then I tested it last year again, and it was the highest speed I had was 32.99, and I remember that because it was, you know, close to 3,300. And we have the video on that. I've got a video on that of us shooting that. And the Browning shoots it around box velocity. It's 3160, 3180. Browning shoots everything a little bit slower. The most consistent between the two of them that it shot is actually this Barnes. I think the Barnes was real close in the 28, 28, 20, 28, 20, 28, 50, something like that. It was real close, real similar in both guns. I don't know if that's a lot number. I don't know what the deal is with that, because I see other people online talking about it's not like that for them. So I'm not really sure why it was like that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's a lot number. But so then I bought the components for reloading. So these are some of the loads I've got from last year. Got the components for bought Peterson brass. What else did I get? I got 120. These are 129 Accubon long range. Bought 150 grain Accubon long range projectiles. Bought Ramshot Magnum, and we started testing both guns with the 129s, the 150s, and we were getting the first test. It was just about a year ago. The first test, the 129s were going, they're going in the Bergara 3250 to 3280, I believe, and that was like 1 grain under max. If I remember right, it was like 64 grains of Ramshot Magnum. We're using Nosler data, so I think, if I remember right, it was 64 grains. We tested half grain increments from like 1.5 grains under max to max, and yeah, so we were getting, just with the grain under 3250, 3280. Browning's a little bit slower. By the time we tested those, I had 100 rounds to the Browning, so the barrel is supposedly, some people say they don't know about the break-in thing and all that, but, it had 100 rounds through it. So the Browning, it's a little bit slower. It can get in the 32s, but consistently faster on the Bergara with 2-inch shorter barrel. Again, I don't know why, but with these 129s, the Bergara is just a hammer. I mean, we're talking 3260, 3280s, nothing, with those, with the grain under max. The 150s, both of those shot the first test we did, they were both over 3,000, and that was, we went up to max. We went up to max on the Nosler data with the Ramshot Magnum, and we were both maxed out on those, with both rifles with the 150s, and we were over 3,000, around 30.25, 30.20, something like that for average out of both of them. And I've got all my notes and everything from this first couple tests. I just forgot to get all my notes out. I got my notebook and all the velocities and everything on there, but yeah, so that's just from going on memory. And I forgot I did have this one Nosler left. So this is a factory Nosler Accubon, and I wasn't too impressed with those. I mean, they were. I resold all the rest of that Nosler I had. I can't remember how many I had. I think I bought 60 rounds, and I fired 1 box, and I resold the other 2 boxes. They were in the low 29s, and I mean, I guess it's all right. It just, I wasn't too impressed with it, and I resold all the rest of my. I had I think 3 more boxes of this unfired. 3 more boxes of this. Once we started hand loading, I just went ahead and sold all the rest of this terminal set. But as far as factory hunting ammunition, if you're going to go factory, I haven't shot anything with it, just for groups and for the velocity. You know, it's over box velocity on both of these guns. Like I said, the Bergara, like really, for whatever reason, I mean, sometimes the Bergara would shoot that 130 grain terminal ascent almost at 3,200 feet per second. It was like 3,180, 31 something, you know, something like that. Sometimes, and it seemed like the velocity would, you know, you fire your first round, your cold bore, it's a little bit slower, and then it jumps up. The extreme spread on those wasn't very good, but you can tell that the powder is a little bit hotter on those terminal ascent. But yeah, as far as ammunition, I think that's pretty much everything, all the different types of ammunition I've shot in these rifles. This Browning has some I really do. I like the texture on both of them. I do like the carbon stock on this. This Browning's a lot lighter, even with the contour barrel on this is a lot heavier. The Browning has these flutes in it. The Browning's not as heavy as this Bergara is, but both of them feel really good in the hands. It's just that the Browning carries a little bit better. If you're gonna go a longer distance or whatever, you're gonna carry it on your shoulder. That Browning carries a little bit better, but this Bergara does have that's what I carry it with the Blue Force sling on these flush mounts here, and I carry this one with just like a regular sling. I've got one that fits here, and then one like just a regular stud that fits on that, and I carry it on my shoulder with that one, and I carry this one across the front when I carry it. And I haven't killed anything actually with this Bergara. Just shot one deer with the Browning last year. It was a 7-point. Shot with one of those hand loads, and I don't know, he was probably 125 to 150 yards away. He was quartering away and shot him. Quartering away with that Browning, I was sitting on the ground, rested against my knee, and shot him, and he went right down where he was at. He didn't move. He kicked a little bit when he was on the ground, and that he didn't take a step though, but he went right down. But yeah, I thought, I'm gonna make another video like I did before, and I just figured tonight would be a good night to do it. Some people don't like other people's stuff. They get triggered and bothered because people talk about their guns or whatever, which I don't understand really. If you think about it, the same guy that got all triggered is watching all these big time gun tubers, and they're posting up videos every day or every other day. When he didn't go into their comments and blast them, he comes into somebody like me and blasts me, and they're the ones that are making videos and showing their stuff off pretty much every day. So I don't really get that, but I know some people like to get other people's experiences on their guns, and if they're thinking about purchasing something, they might want to see somebody else's experience with their guns and see how they shoot, whatever. Oh, that reminds me. This has got a stock trigger tech in it. It's got the fluted bolt. It's a Premier Action. This is a Premier Action on this Bergara. It's super smooth. The bolt on this, it's it's just unbelievable. And the trigger on this thing, it's unreal too. I mean, it's there's no creep on it. Now I had this trigger done. The last video, I don't think I covered that. This Browning, a guy did the trigger for me. I ordered the spring, aftermarket spring on that, and because it was pretty heavy. Now, as you can see, there's no creep on that. It's about 2 pounds, probably on both of them. And the Browning now is just about as good as this trigger tech. So, but yeah, that's about it. I just, I figured I'd make a video tonight and, just kind of go over the guns and all that. And if, people get triggered on it, they get triggered, I guess. Well, I'm planning on, I've got that Kimber. I bought that Kimber a couple weeks ago, and I still haven't shot it yet. So I'm thinking about shooting it soon. I might make a video on that. And I still got to shoot my 270 short mag some more. I've just shot it the one time, that Tikka 270 short mag, and we're going to start hand loading for it. Probably after the next time we shoot it, we'll have enough cases to start hand loading some on it. But anyway, well, y'all have a good night.